I held off on covering my other RC ship, since the Lindbergh-Fletcher video did not do that well. But since I've already recorded the footage, I'm gonna do it anyway. This build actually started as a Revel 1 to 350 kit that I attempted to build in elementary school. Obviously, that turned out horrendously, and over time, the decks and superstructure broke off and got lost, leaving just the 2-foot-long hull. At some point, I decided I could motorize it, and it eventually got an entire radio-controlled drivetrain made of various bits and bobs, from thick metal wire to a Tamiya solar motor. In fact, I got most of my experience with RC equipment tinkering with this thing. Eventually, the bare hull was running pretty well, and I started looking into making it look better. But what could I do without the rest of the kit? Around this time, I started building Lego scale models, like the 5AT and the Ace. Using the same technique I use to scale trains to brick, I scaled a drawing to the hull to make a cutout of the Titanic's superstructure, and I actually posted a video of this configuration on the old Nonsense Wars website. Along the way, I discovered the existence of various free Papercraft Titanics, and I realized I could scale part of an entire model the same way. With some trial and error, I got the superstructure of one of the models to fit the Revel hull. I reinforced the lowest deck with foam core, and it simply slots into the ship, as do the bow and stern decks. I actually mixed and matched elements of several different papercrafts, with the lifeboats and funnels coming from different designs. Finally, I sprayed a clear coat over the entire model to protect it from spray. I think the result looks pretty good from afar, but the paperness obviously shows up close. On the flip side, this implementation keeps the top weight down, which really helps stability. The ship has a lot of buoyancy, and it needs a lot of ballast to keep it level, so the original plastic superstructures may not have worked anyway. If anything, the funnels could use a cover piece or a colored inside. Still, I was actually pretty impressed that we had the technology and the resources to build an ad hoc hybrid model like this. I have never actually seen such a thing, and as a child, I could not have even imagined such a thing. If anything, the availability of 3D printing technology means that, given a sufficiently detailed model, I could theoretically print a better superstructure than the one included in the original kit. On the other hand, the internals are much less nice, since this kit had no factory affordances for running. Everything from mechano brackets to scrap plastic hold things in place. Bent metal wire forms the rudder control linkage, and Lego flex tubing forms the propeller shaft packing. The massive rudder and single prop are entirely unrealistic, but they give the ship reasonable speed and aggressive handling in practice. Power comes from 6C batteries, which double as the ballast. A Tamiya solar motor drives the propeller through an old Futaba receiver and a junky eBay ESC, while an equally old Futaba servo controls the rudder. This motor actually provides a lot of performance for very little energy thanks to its intended use. The Titanic can actually outrun the Fletcher, and I once estimated the scale speed at near the speed of sound. Annoyingly, the old RC gear has much worse connectivity than the Aries equipment I used on the Fletcher, especially because the Titanic does not have a particularly tall antenna. The receiver disconnected more than once during the outing, resetting the ESC and stranding the ship. Luckily, I filmed the Fletcher and the Titanic during the same afternoon, so the former could rescue the latter when needed. Unfortunately, the Lindbergh Fletcher has a different scale than all my other ship models, including the Lego ones, so it does look a bit silly in context. My other Fletcher, the Tamiya one, has the correct scale, and I actually have another Tamiya kit, 1:350 scale and RC, that I intend to build someday TM. On that note, this is the end of the video. Please consider subscribing if you like what we do, and have a nice day. I'm going like no throttle, so it should be trivial. No, you're not catching up? I'll pull back a little bit. No? Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
It's better to T-bone it and then play balance the pull by like steering left and right and pushing you sideways is way easier. All right, rescue.
Okay, that was good fitted. Okay, let's pull them out.